BF, 26 meters, said I, 26F, ruined the proposal, but took me to proposal spot and didn't propose. We've been together for 3 years and went out of town for the weekend for our 3-year anniversary trip. I knew he was planning on proposing while we were there. He wasn't being subtle at all, but I was trying not to let on how much I knew. But he was being super weird about going out to this really cute coastal city that was super out of our way. We drive all the way out, walk around, it's beautiful, and he just doesn't propose. I was disappointed but just assumed there were too many people or the photographer bailed or something. We get back to the hotel room and he tells me he caught on that I knew and so I ruined it, and he was gonna wait for it to be a complete surprise. I should add that I've never mentioned or cared if it was a surprise. We live together, plus he's not remotely subtle/good at hiding things.
I've just felt super sad since, and it felt weirdly humiliating to still have him make us go way out of our way to the beach, only for him to not propose. It came across as, this is how nice/pretty the proposal would have been if you hadn't ruined it. What do I do? How do we/I specifically get past this?
When my friend got engaged, her husband dropped the ring through the boardwalk and it got lost in the sand. They had to call in family and friends to go looking for it. The local news showed up. Her mother was praying to Saint Anthony. It was a whole thing. They eventually found the ring and were happily engaged. If that didn't ruin the proposal, neither did you. Would it fit with his personality and past behavior if he decided not to propose at the last minute, perhaps because he got nervous, and then decided to blame it on you and make you feel bad so he didn't have to feel embarrassed?
Him getting too scared to propose and then blaming you is not a good look for the very first step of a marriage.
Gosh, this is tough up. It's certainly not your fault he didn't propose, he chose not to. Did he really say you ruined it? That's pretty harsh energy to put around a special moment. I wonder if he got nervous and panicked/chose not to do it, and upset with himself maybe for bungling it, so he's taking it out on you? Is there any kind of history around that kind of behavior? Or maybe could there be something else going on with him about the idea of engagement? Maybe in a follow-up conversation you can let him know you don't really care about it being a surprise because you're so excited to start a new chapter of your life with him, but that the way he framed it made you feel like he was upset with you for figuring it out, which isn't your fault because you know him, love him, live with him, and he kind of sucks at hiding things.
Regardless, I hope this kind of behavior is a one-off because, frankly, it's not very nice.
I don't know what you do now. He ruined it for himself.
Extremely strange behavior on his part. If you're taking a special trip for a 3-year anniversary, anyone is going to wonder if it's for a proposal, even if he'd been super sneaky and not given you any clues at all. Have you talked about not caring if it's a surprise? That strikes me as rather controlling and punitive. Is he like that in other aspects? That if things don't go his way he reacts negatively? I just got engaged and knew it was happening to the point that I got my nails done before our trip. And had my partner's birth flower painted onto my ring finger. He still proposed, after doing a valiant effort at convincing me it wasn't happening. Because the trip was our dream proposal location and he'd put so much work into making it special. Your boyfriend is awful. My assumption would be that he got stage fright. You mentioned there being more people around than expected. But he's doing the guy thing of never being able to admit to any form of fear. So he's blaming you. When we were in our early 20s, my husband was totally like that. Super socially anxious and not afraid of anything other than admitting to fear, face with rolling eyes. He's gotten better since, and he's also realized that making me feel bad is a far worse outcome than me knowing that he was nervous, afraid of something. Maybe this is an opportunity to deepen your communicative skills with each other? A proposal shouldn't be a surprise. Your boyfriend is childish. If it were me, I'd be reconsidering the relationship right now. Not because he didn't propose, but because there are so many unhealthy dynamics going on in just This post that make me think he's not a good person to marry. He's a perfectionist. And when he even thinks things aren't going to be 100% perfect, he slams around like a toddler. When something goes wrong, he looks for a way to hurt you for it, even when it's not your fault. There was nothing keeping him from proposing. This man thought that you might have figured out his behavior, and so he ruined the whole thing and punished you for his immaturity. And even if he needed to have his little tantrum about it, there was no reason to tell you why he didn't other than to hurt you. This is supposed to be the honeymoon phase where things are supposed to be new and exciting. And he's already so jaded with your relationship that the slightest nudge pushes him into full-on abusive disgust. If it were me, I'd be so offended he made the choice to hurt me because of his own neurosis over something that should have been at most a slight internal disappointment. I would feel the need to make my dumping him as petty as his punishing me for not proposing. Order takeout from someplace nice. Light some candles. Hand him a gift box with a card. And then when he opens the box, it's the key to the apartment or an eviction notice, depending on who is on the lease. Sounds like he chickened out and is blaming you for it. How on earth did you ruin anything? You just were there. Has he talked to any friends or family about their proposals? In long-term relationships, with good communication and understanding of each other's tendencies, she almost always knows, strongly, suspects ahead of time. True surprise is for movies. He ruined it himself. You didn't do anything wrong. He just chickened out and blamed you. If he chickened out and didn't blame you, that's one thing. But to blame you, like how would you have ruined it? Shitty behavior emo. I would be really upset by that. It seems like his attitude is, things didn't go exactly how I planned, so it's your fault and you should feel bad. Even though you didn't actually do anything and by your own description tried to act like you didn't know. Is he like this with other stuff? Is it always somehow your fault? Why does it have to be a surprise? This is one of the biggest decisions of your life and it is supposed to catch you completely by surprise? If I may offer advice to him and to you. Sure, a proposal is a big deal, but it's the asking that's important. If the setting and the perfect Instagram storybook moment is more important than your feelings or the fact that you are getting engaged, then really, please rethink what you are doing and why you are doing it. The fact that he is using this as an opportunity to make you feel bad over the fact that you know him so well. This is really a boys are dumb moment. I think it just got to him. I agree he shouldn't have said it was your fault, but maybe it's just the pressure even if you tried to hide knowing maybe he noticed. When I did it I caught mine well off guard. She was in utter shock, but she didn't want a photographer hiding taking pictures. It was just a moment of me and her. Honestly, maybe give him a month or so to try again, then if not, maybe just have a chat about it and how you would like to get married, and it will help with the pressure for him. You need to have a discussion with him about this. You didn't ruin anything. If the discussion doesn't end with him apologizing, you may want to take a close look at your relationship as a whole. I think people who go straight to break up are taking it slightly far. Maybe he just has this perfect proposal in mind, and in his eyes you knowing about it kind of ruined it. Yeah, he shouldn't say it the way he did. And I understand how that can be upsetting. I think both of you should probably sit down and talk about it maturely. Just ask him straight up why it has to be a surprise. Breaking up with him over such a thing is stupid. There will be times when you mess up and when he will mess up, and if you got as far as considering marriage, things like this get talked through and resolved straight away. It would be different if he started screaming and shouting at you over it. But maybe he genuinely was upset that he didn't get to have the perfect proposal either? Maybe he just didn't say it the way he should have and worded it horribly. Please just talk to him and figure it out. If you wanted to marry this man, don't just break up with him over one mistake. Try to resolve this ASAP. I don't know. It really doesn't sit well with me that he planned this out. Chickened out and proceeded to blame you for it not happening. Just know this may be a preview of what's to come if you two make it down the aisle.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.